Hey guys, welcome to this week's newsletter update. As you know, I like to do trade recaps from trades we've had in the past, and typically the last several weeks. Do trade recaps on Tuesday and then new trade ideas on Thursday. Typically is the way we work. Let's jump right in. We're looking at Google. We did a trade here in Google. Nice, easy trade, easy win. Google, or Alphabet as it's called. So here was the setup. We have earnings coming up out here this Wednesday. So let me move my calendar over here. Now we entered this trade on the 10th, right there on April the 10th. And what I was trying to do on April 10th is right there. So what I was trying to do is to get, by this setup, I'm looking at these, this is called a Darvas Box indicator that we have. It's a free indicator actually that we have here at Simpler. But I like to see this cross above. These are 34 EMAs, upper and lower band of 34 EMAs. And typically when you see 34 EMAs like this, you cross above them and they act as support. And you just keep going higher, higher, higher. If you're on the downside, they do act as resistance and you get rejected down, 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 right? So when you cross back over, that is typically a good point to consider starting a trade. That's what I was looking at, and couple that with, guess what, we've got earnings coming up out here. So I wanted a bullish run into earnings trade. Again, we entered right there and we got this really nice move up. I want to do something very simple, and I wanted to do a multi-prong trade. So I did a simple call debit spread. Very, very straightforward. And what I did over here, we went to 15 May. Now the reason I did that, again, Google reports on 429. That's this Wednesday. By doing it this way, going out to 15 May, if we're kind of somewhere in the middle here, well, let's start on the other end. If we're down here and the trade, it didn't work out in Google, here's the chart and it's going up and it just comes back down. We can always hold over earnings and maybe it recovers, right? Now, the other scenario is that we're kind of somewhere in the middle right here and we're up $100 and then we can still hold over earnings and, try to get more out of it. Well, as it turned out, we're up here and we're up, actually up 760. I closed it this morning. We're up $760. And there's no reason to not take the win when you've got a little profit in a trade. That's not a little profit, it's a nice profit, right? But as you can see over here, the way that I like to size these trades, because I don't know what size trade what size account everyone's trading, so I like to trade this on a level that everyone can kind of make their own decision on their sizing. So I did four contracts here. Let me get rid of that. 4 contracts at a $1.20 entry price here. So we have $480 of risk. I like to risk about 500 as an example on how to, just on the risk reward portion of it, right? Up here on the upper end, as you can see over here, risk 480 to make 1500. That's 3 to 1. So risk about 500 to make about 1500. That's max, right? If we didn't have earnings and we were going to hold it, I would try to get a lot more out of it, maybe even the full 1500. But as it turns out, we're up 700. Again, earlier today we were up $760 out of 1500. That's 50% of our max profit. And guess what? I don't have to hold it over earnings. So I opted to go ahead and close the trade. I posted it. It was in the bias room and in the main room. I've posted it. Everyone got in, everyone got out. So I got $3.12, which is a $768 win. Let me pull this up right here. $768, which is like a, percentage-wise, it's like 160% or something like that in about 17 days. Pretty good. Again, you could size this thing up if you choose to. You did 20 contracts, now you're up $1,800, etc. You did 20 contracts, now you're up $3,600. This was a very easy, again, we didn't take any heat on this trade. We put it on and took it off. That's the way I like it. Again, did a simple debit spread, nothing fancy here. And again, I was using the multi-prong approach, where if we did have to hold it over earnings, we've got plenty of time left on the trade, and we could keep going higher. Or if it goes down here and before earnings, we could always hold it for a second chance to win if if they crush it on earnings. And we don't know what's going to happen yet, but that will be Wednesday after the close. Now, if it pulls back, as an example, it pulls back to these 34s, I probably will start another new trade in Google. We'll look for that. If you're in bias, we'll talk about that in my bias room, or at Simpler in the main room. We'll try to do another one. But I want to give you a recap on that one. It was a super easy trade. Pretty nice win. So with that, let me wind it up here. Thanks for the time. Look out for the stock picks on Thursday. They've been working extremely well. I'll go back and review some of those other ones. A lot of those are still very valid. A lot of them have really moved up. But anyway, take a look at that. That'll be out on Thursday. So thanks for the time, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Take care.